Disco time!
Live from Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport in Texas, this is Runway DFW in color. Now, here is your host, Walt Zwerko.
We are live from Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport. My name is Walt, and we are here to bring you some Sunday morning activities from the world's second busiest airport. It is Sunday, August 7th, 2022, and we'll be here with you for the next about 3 hours or so to bring you all the action as delivered from the official Runway DFW live satellite vehicle, beaming our signal to outer space, bouncing it back to you wherever you are on the planet. So welcome on in to Runway DFW. So good to have you with us this Sunday morning, or afternoon, or evening, whatever the time it is in your zone. We have a little different look today. I'm trying something different as far as our signal goes, so bear with us if things go wrong, but it's going to look a little different. I hope it comes in a little more clearly for you all. And so we've got some good things happening this morning. We are going to have for you, I believe, at least 2 Queens of the Sky, if not 3, so that's always good, right? We might even have an MD-11 for you. Sunday mornings, as it turns out, are pretty good for cargo. And so we get some nice cargo action here on a Sunday morning. We will be having a Korean Air cargo 747 came in while we were setting up. And that is expected to go out before we go off the air this morning. But right now, there is, unfortunately, we don't have a very good view of it from where we are. But let me see if I can try to let you see what's going on here. You can at least see the tail of it. But our view is a bit obscured. But there's the tail of a UPS 747. That will be on its way, I believe, to Louisville. That's normally where that flight goes on this day of the week. That is a pretty new 747 as Queens of the Skies go. That's just 2 years old. And we expect that to be going out within the hour. Meanwhile, there's not a lot happening here. We're coming to you from DFW Founders Plaza. Our camera position shows the green beacon. You can't really tell it's green from that picture, can you? No, really can't. But our camera's in a position that's blocked by a light standard. But that's a view of DFW Founders Plaza, where we are broadcasting from. Now, I've got this new software. I've got to try it out now to see how our comments come in. Let's see. Do I have to double click on that? Oh, okay. Okay, there's Luke Molds. Good evening, Walt. How are you, mate? Checking in live from New Zealand. I'm doing well, Luke. I hope your rugby team is doing well. Keep us informed about that. Keith Wheeler's here saying good morning from Music City. That's Nashville, right? Of course. Nashville in the U.S. John Franco saying he loves the orange background glow in the sky. That's not a very good shot of it. I guess that was in our opening. Bill Caldham from Arkansas. Good morning, Walt. Allison Bowers. Good morning from St. John's in our northern neighbor, Canada. Dutchy Bass saying, take it away, Walt. And Spotting TV. Hi, Walt, and greetings from Dusseldorf, Germany, after my lunch. And it's just not even barely breakfast time here. You know, I was thinking as I was coming in this morning. Now, I'm about an hour away from here, so, and then it takes a while to set up. So I have to leave the house at about 4 a.m. And I'm driving to here at 4 a.m. on a Sunday morning, and I'm wondering, what are these? It's like a Jerry Seinfeld moment. Who are these other drivers on the road at 4 in the morning on a Sunday? And I was having a hard time figuring it out. Who would be driving around at 4 a.m. on a Sunday morning? And I guess me. And I guess people who would have to catch a plane. And speaking of planes, our first arrival of the morning, as you can see, let me explain to those of you who haven't been with us the last few visits, we've had some issues with sprinklers going off here at DFW Founders Plaza. I suspect it's because everything is so dry, they're trying to make sure that nothing catches on fire, spontaneously combusts. So they're wetting the grassy area around here down a lot, and that's where I usually would park my equipment. So today I'm back a little bit further, and the view is a little bit more obscured, but I hope it'll be satisfactory to you. Our first flight, it's that dot there to the left of the sign, is American Eagle Flight 3592 coming in from Lawton, Oklahoma after a grueling 26-minute flight on an Embraer 145 LR. So that's going to be it. That's going to be our first arrival of the day. And that seemed to work out all right for everybody on board. There's a Delta flight now approaching the runway. Runway 18 left. This will be Flight 732 on its way to Los Angeles, an A320 aircraft. Not one of Delta's newest aircraft. As it goes off into the sunrise, I'll let you know just how old it is.
A blast from the past.
We like to have fun here at Runway DFW. So now we are looking around and we're seeing a plane coming in. This is going to be coming in from Sao Paulo in Brazil. It's going to be a big ol' Dreamliner 787-9 on Runway DFW. It's American Flight 962. So there's our first heavy of the morning. To use the nomenclature reserved for wide-bodied aircraft. A 3-year-old 787-9 in the air for 9 hours and 45 minutes. Again, that's from Sao Paulo, Brazil. And if you just joined us, we are awaiting the pushback of a UPS 747 freighter. So we'll bring that to you as soon as we can. I can't put his message on the screen right now, but I'm seeing that Luke Moulds from New Zealand is saying that his rugby team is doing fantastic. Won our first 3 games out of 4 regular season games. We are top of the table for Division 1, the top division of college rugby in New Zealand. And so cheers to you, Luke, and your mates. That sounds fantastic. There's a look at, it's a kind of a blurry look. Our camera 2 is not the most robust of our 3 cameras. It's the second most robust. Let me see if I can get that focused a little better. That's a little bit better. That's a look at the East Tower of DFW, along with the security perimeter fence. And the skyline of Dallas, Texas in the background. H.G. Williams, nothing like the smell of Jet A in the morning. And we get it over here. Just being a few hundred feet away from the UPS cargo hub. John Kelly Grant saying good morning from San Jose, California. John, you're up early this morning. And Ed Chilcote saying good morning from Wilmington, North Carolina. John Uphill saying, good morning, Walt. If your equipment gets wet, we have to move. We have to more Runway DFW? Move Runway DFW? Not sure. But enough of that chit-chat. Let's get back to some action. This is kind of like the preamble to the 747 UPS. Now pushing back. Just to the south of us is this MD-11. Should be on its way to Louisville. Yeah, that's what it says here. Got an age on this one.
$1992.
Yep. One of the older planes in the UPS fleet. A 30-year-old aircraft. And again, it's on its way to Louisville. And the wind is blowing directly at us, and yes, I can smell that Jet A now in the morning.
In the morning.
We watch that get ready to go. Let's see what people are saying here. Kiwi Whispers ASMR. Good morning, Walt. Another Kiwi here. Good morning to you. Well, not good. It's late at night where you are. Shane is saying, good morning, Walt. What terminal are you looking at in front of you? Well, what we're looking at right now as we watch the flaps being tested on this 30-year-old bird. We are looking directly south right now at the UPS terminal, and behind it is a hangar space for American Airlines and American Eagle aircraft. Directly across from us, over to the right of your screen there, you're looking at, with all those American tails there, I believe that would be Terminal A across the bridge. Directly in front of us is Terminal B, but that's not in that shot. We have Luis Roberto joining us, and if I'm not mistaken, that's a Brazilian flag. So good morning to you. We just saw a plane from your country come in. Hey, it's shining its light at us. Do you think it sees us? Good morning, flight crew. And it's on the move. There's no other activity here at on this side of DFW right now, so you're not missing anything by us kind of savoring a look at this aging but still very vital aircraft. And I think I just heard the acknowledgement that it's going to take off on 18 right. which, you know, it happens. Usually the takeoffs are from 18 left, but 18 right is a little closer to this, and I guess there's no other planes coming in right now. So if I heard the air traffic controller correctly, it's going to be making a right turn. And there it is, a turn and burn. And that, my good friends, is a great way to start our Sunday, I would say. And we say good morning to Angela Morgan, who is kind enough to say that she loves the channel. And we love having you with us here. John Franco is relating a story about the last time he was at DFW, and I'm sure it's a story that's shared by many. He says the last time he was at DFW, he had to drive 13 minutes to make the mad terminal dash from Terminal A, 47, Gate 47, to Satellite E. That sounds like that's about as far as you can go here. And even though they've kind of improved the they've improved the inter-terminal transit options over the last few years, it's still a long way to go. Alaska Airlines, right there, and it's going to Seattle. It is a 737-990ER. Age 6, the same as my grandson. So it's going to first grade, I guess. I don't know. And it is wasting no time and saying sayonara to DFW. And unlike the UPS jet, this one's going out on runway 18 left, which is the default takeoff runway. We have two parallel north-south runways here on the west side. Left usually gets the departures and right generally gets the arrivals, but it's not not a given. Bjorn Larson is saying good morning from Denmark. Nice to see an MD-11. Not many left on this side of the pond. There's a decreasing number over here as well. But yeah, we're always glad we can bring you one of those. We did have, we did catch a glimpse of one of the increasingly rare DC-10s that are still hanging around. FedEx has a handful of those, and we caught one when we were visiting Austin a couple months back. You can find a replay of that on the Runway DFW channel if you scour our archives. And hello to 777-300ER airplane. Always good to have an airplane in our audience. Here comes American Eagle Flight 3071 coming in from Shreveport, Louisiana. This will be a CRJ 701ER, I think. Actually, it's a Sky West operating as American Eagle, or on behalf of American Eagle, or I don't know if you can make them out. There's some big antenna towers in the background there. They're in Cedar Hill, Texas. Probably about 15 miles away from here. They transmit all the TV signals for North Texas TV viewers. We're happy to welcome Douglas Shand from Scotland. Hey there, Douglas. So nice of you to join us. Our next arrival is American Eagle 3760. This is an Embraer 175 from Killeen in Texas. And that ends a 31-minute flight. We get a lot of, especially in the morning hours, so we get a lot of these regional planes coming in from points in Texas and the adjoining states. And of course, they're here to hook up passengers, for the most part, that are going out of, that are making connections to other flights. So yeah, this is one of the major hubs for American Airlines. Well, it's the major hub for American Airlines. They have several hubs. There is Terminal D, and that is the international terminal here. Our next contestant is American Airlines Flight 2563. And it will be joining us from the capital of Texas, Austin. It's a Boeing 737-800. Might be able to detect a bit of wind in the air. The official statistics indicate that we've got a southerly wind at 9 miles an hour. It feels a little stronger than that to me. It says 81 degrees officially. Unofficially, here at our viewing point, it's 80 degrees here at DFW Founders Plaza. For those of you who may be inquiring, we will not have you will not see a Super Jumbo A380 here on this morning's broadcast. That will be taking off a little bit later from London and scheduled to get here around 5 o'clock in the afternoon. John is letting us know those flights going to and from Colleen only cruise at a maximum of 14 to 18,000 feet for 4 or 5 minutes. And there's our sun. We've kind of established a tradition here in the morning when the sun comes up. So let us do that now. Just grab a cup of something and lean back and relax, and we'll watch the sunrise together. Well, what better time than to acknowledge a super chat from Joshua Roberts of Australian dollars, $3.80. Hello from Gold Coast, Australia. Love the stream, and we are so happy to have you with us. Joshua, thank you for supporting Runway DFW. We've got to get back to business here. It was nice seeing the sun rise and those planes kind of passing through the picture, but we have our Queen of the Skies is now backing out. We don't have a very good view of it yet, Here's what we can see. You can kind of see the tail moving in that direction, but it'll be pushing forward in just a second or two. And Ray's saying, Ray Anderson, sunrise with plane flying by looks postcard perfect. Yeah, it's a great look. It's pretty cool. Let's I didn't mean to do that. I meant to do this. Here comes American Airlines flight 2272. It's arriving from Oklahoma City. That's another one of those short flights, just a 32-minute jaunt from the capital of Oklahoma. And Luke is letting us know his thoughts on the sunrise. It's pretty dark where Luke is right now. It's the middle of the night in New Zealand. I almost said Australia. So we'll take one more look at it as we await our 747 to pull into view. Antonio Donizete de Pauli. Beautiful. 3 thumbs up. Thank you, Antonio. And in just a moment or two, we will be seeing that. I'm going to pull out just a little bit so we can see another plane flying through here. That's American Flight 2340 coming in from Philadelphia, over on the east side of the airport. But on this side, we're about to see the daily, I think it's daily, American Airlines flight from Anchorage. It's an Airbus A321. That's a pretty long narrow body flight these days, a 5-hour and 49-minute excursion from our 49th state. You see a lot of cargo planes coming to and from Anchorage, but we don't see too many passengers. That's the only passenger flight I believe we have currently. And this is where we're going to be seeing our first 747 of the day emerge. Joshua Roberts is asking, does this channel offer memberships? Would love to help support this channel. That's so kind of you. And you already have, of course. And he says, I'll also try to spread the word about your channel as it deserves so many more viewers and likes. Well, thank you. That is very kind of you. There are multiple ways to support us. And I think I'll put the crawl in here. This will let you know where you can, if you want to make a monthly, like a recurring contribution to us, you can go to streamlabs.com/runwaydfw, and you'll see that on the screen. It's also in the description of this channel. And so you can make a one-off contribution if you'd like, or a recurring one. We don't have memberships per se. Well, you know, I don't have the content to deliver specialized member-only content that some of the other channels do. At least not yet. Because here we go. That's our Queen theme. By way of explanation, I just think this plane is so special that it deserves its own song. And so from our library of music that I don't have to worry about getting copyright strikes on, that's what I pulled out. I'm still looking for a song in my library that I can use to herald the A380 when we get to see it. We were here on Friday night, I think it was, and we got to see the 380 come and go. The A380, the British Airways, the only one we see here. I know a lot of airports see multiple uh, 380s in a day, but we only see one, and it's more or less a daily flight from London on British Airways. So I wonder if this will be taking off on runway 18 right. No, I don't think so, because there's a plane coming in on 18 right now. It's American Eagle flight 4046. And you'll see it emerging from the left side of your screen. It's coming in from Amarillo in Texas. It's an Embraer 175 aircraft. And there it is. And there's another plane coming in behind it on 18 right. So it looks like this big bird's going to scoot across in advance of the incoming flight. And it's about to greet a Delta flight 1662 baby bus. So Queen meet baby bus. Delta flight's going out, but I think we're just going to stick with the QOTS. That's a flight from Wichita Falls coming in, an Embraer 145. That's just a 24-minute flight from Wichita Falls to the northwest of here. This plane does not have a destination listed. Typically, this flight is going to Louisville, which is the big UPS hub. I'm sure if we were a little closer to that plane, it would sound a lot louder, but I'm constantly surprised to see how relatively quiet these big 4-engined aircraft are. And the same goes for the A380. You know, it's not exactly silent, but it's not an unpleasant sound. Now, you know, if I lived in the neighborhood, maybe I would have a different opinion of it, but they've really, the engineering that goes into these engines to make them quieter is really quite a technological feat. So there's our first Queen of the Sky for the morning. Hopefully we'll have some more before things, before we have to go. And let me see here. I would like to acknowledge O-Town Boy Yao, sending us a $6.99 Canadian super chat. Thank you. Good morning and happy Sunday, Runway DFW from Yao in Canada, Ottawa, Ontario. Have a great day, sir. Thank you very, very much. That is much appreciated. That helps keep the lights on here at Runway DFW. And glad you could take part in that. Now, Spotting TV is correcting me on the baby bus and minibus. The A318 is the baby bus. The A319 is the minibus. I've never seen any 318s coming into this airport. We may get some. I've just not seen any. So I stand corrected. Zach Fleiner says, I was at Founders Plaza last night. Well, I hope you were staying cool. It's not a bad place to hang out in the evening, Zach. Nicholas Orozco saying he's tuned in from Pecos, Texas, home of the world's sweetest cantaloupe. That is in season now. Look for it in your local grocery stores all over Texas, and it is shipped to other states. A promotional message from Nicholas Orozco. Well, we've got another heavy coming in. It's going to be American Airlines Flight 102 from Honolulu. But first, we have American Flight 524 737-800 on its way to Los Angeles. And depending on how long whether this takes right off or not, I may have to turn away from this flight to get to the 777. I think I'm going to do that. So hang on, let me let you watch that as we bring this in on our view screen. Let me let it get past a sign. That's a 6-hour and 42-minute flight for a plane which recently celebrated its 22nd anniversary, leaving the Boeing factory in February of the year 2000.
Morning tower, runway 3983, visual 17 center. Clear to land 17 center, runway 3983. 3161.
An interesting tidbit from John Franco. Pre-COVID, British Airways operated a modified A318 with 32 business class seats on a route from JFK to London City Airport. The return leg cleared customs at Shannon, Ireland. That sounds like an interesting thing. I think I remember reading about that. We say hi to nobody. Hello there. And it's no wonder we don't see the A318 here, the baby bus, because only a Romanian airline called Tarom and Air France operate that particular aircraft. And John Franco says, "Oops, accidentally placed my phone in the fridge. That's a sign to brew some coffee." Sounds like something I would do. Coming in from the South Texas town of McAllen, this minibus, as I am now corrected, is American Airlines Flight 2768. That plane is also dating back to the year 2000, although it hasn't celebrated its birthday yet, having been born in November. Airbus A319 and McAllen, just over an hour, an hour and 8 minutes journey. So things are a little quiet right now, but I do anticipate that we'll be seeing, let's see here. Looking at the lineup here. Yeah, the Korean Air Cargo 747 is due out at 7:45, so that's only a little more than 30 minutes away. So hang out with us here at Runway DFW and get to see another Queen of the Skies if you are so inclined. I know I am. Here's another Texas origination, or another kind of intra-Texas flight. This one's coming from Corpus Christi on the Texas Gulf Coast. A CRJ 900 or 901 ER, I think. American Eagle Flight 5781. And that's a journey of just less than an hour, 59 minutes. There's a few people hanging out here at the Founders Plaza. That beacon's still spinning around. It's about time to turn that thing off. It usually stops spinning at this time, before this time. Olaf He or Hey, good morning from Germany. Good morning to you, Olaf. And I'm going to try to pronounce this correctly. Guvorkian, good morning, watching from the southernmost tip of South America. Would that be Patagonia? Do I have that name right? Welcome to you. And as we watch an American plane cross over the bridge to the east side, Zion is saying slow day. Well, this is technically the second busiest airport in the world, but there are slow periods here, just as there are at any other airport. And Austin Swafford is saying OZ242 is on final. See if I can pick it out of the skies here. Yeah, there it is. It's Asiana Cargo Flight 242. That's a 747 coming in from Chicago. Now it looks like it's going to be on track to come in on the east side, which is not ideal for us, but we'll try to get a view of it for you. There is how far the sun has risen in the sky. Not much in the way of clouds today. So we're in for another hot one. Let's see what they're forecasting today. Well, here's the Runway DFW weather. It's 79 right now. Feels like 83. We are headed towards a high temperature of 98. That's all? 98? It's amazing. It's only going to be 98. It's not going to be 100. Huh. So that's a relief. So it's we get a cool breeze coming in today. So that's your weather from Runway DFW.
This is Runway DFW.
In the morning.
Okay, I'm looking through the sky to see if I can bring you that Asiana Cargo 747, which will be our second Queen of the Sky of the day. That's not it. It's a little further out. Let's see if we can find it. That's a pretty big plane, so we should be able to find it. Ah, there it is. Kind of your audio cue if you're away from the TV or your screen to let you know that you're about to see a big one. So just to be clear, we're not going to be able to see this one actually land because it's landing over on the east side of DFW Airport. It will eventually make its way over to this side because that's where it deplanes all of its cargo. But we'll watch it until it goes behind some buildings, and then we'll watch for it as it gets closer on this side. And because the sun is behind it, all we see is a silhouette, really. So big we can kind of see the tail as it lands, but not quite the same as seeing it over on this side. I'm talking about Corpus Christi a little while ago, H.G. Williams quipping that this time of year they changed the name to Corpus Crispy. You saw a Sun Country plane, which was it's about to head off to Cancun in Mexico. This is a 737-8BK. So I guess it's Burger King. It's an 18-year-old plane. So speaking of 747s, we still should have coming up in the next 30 minutes or so the Korean Air Cargo 747. So I don't know any plane spotters who don't like to see a 747. Ryan Paulding says, when did Southwest fly to DFW? Oh, wait, Sun Country. LOL. Yeah. It is, at a glance, if you're familiar with the brand, the livery of Southwest Airlines, at a glance you could say, wait a minute, is that Southwest? Because the fuselage color is pretty much the same. It's probably not exactly the same as Southwest on the color chart, but at a glance you could easily mistake it for one. Here comes another flight from Austin. American Flight 1632, 737-800. There's the tail end of that Sun Country plane on our locked down camera 2. H.G. Williams says, I liked Sun Country's old creamsicle livery. And we see that every now and again here. They've got a couple of different looks Sun Country does. I think this is the most recent one, but I'm not sure. And Sharaf Nassour is advising us that this is headed to Cancun. We have another incoming flight, another flight from another port of call in Texas. American Flight 2342 from San Antonio. So you see half of Sun Country there. We've got a plane you won't be seeing too much longer if the merger goes through. Spirit. Which has agreed to the merger with JetBlue. Both of those airlines fly into DFW, although we see a lot more Spirit over on this side. I think all the JetBlue routes are to East Coast destinations, and typically they take off from the other side of the airport, from the east side of the airport. That one must be loaded down with sunscreen, because it used up a pretty good chunk of that runway. Where'd that Spirit plane go? I think you're about to see it. Enter your field of view. That one is, here it comes. It's going to Los Angeles. No, did I say that? It's going to Las Vegas. Different place. That's an A320. A 2-year-old A320, which I guess will be inherited by JetBlue if regulators approve that joint venture. And I think most people are anticipating that the Spirit name will go away. And one would suspect that it'd be the end of the banana birds. They're definitely easy to spot, I must say that. If you're going to be plane spotting, look for the yellow bird. And if I heard air traffic correctly, we've got an American Airlines Heavy coming in on 18 right. And I haven't seen it on the radar screen yet. It may be a little far out. Let me guess that it's the one from Maui. See if I'm right. Oh, I am right. Maui. So that's coming in. It's not our next aircraft coming in. We've got, first of all, a minibus from Monterey. The Monterey minibus. American Flight 2286. Monterey in Mexico. So right behind this will be the... Oh, look at that. We got a special livery there. Well, that's one thing when we're shooting into the sun as we do in the morning. We don't get a very great look at the liveries as the planes land, because they're pretty much in shadow. Try to see that as it turns here. Again, that's the Piedmont Heritage livery. Yeah, I was looking around at I was kind of browsing the internet, and I guess one of American subsidiaries, regional subsidiaries, is called Piedmont. Now this is not that. This is an American Airlines plane. But of course Piedmont was a mainline regional airline back in the day. So here comes the flight from Maui. That's a 5-year-old 787-9 Dreamliner. Coming in about 30 minutes early. Must have had a good tailwind on a 6.5-hour flight. Oh, and there's our Queen of the Sky, the Asiana flight, which we saw come in on the east side. It is now taxiing over to the cargo area here on this side of the aircraft, the airport. Emery wants to know, what's the longest flight from DFW? You know, I keep meaning to make that calculation. But it's got to be either the Qatar or Emirates flights from their ports of call in the Middle East, or the Qantas flight from Sydney. They're pretty close. They're like 15, 16 hours. And of course, Asiana is another airline that's in the process of merging, in this case with Korean Air. And I know I looked it up a little while ago, but I haven't seen yet whether they're going to maintain their separate identities in the merger, or if one of them is going to go away. And our friend Joshua Roberts saying, unfortunately, I will be logging off soon as it's nearly 11 o'clock there, 11 p.m. We'll join the next stream. Good night, good morning to everyone. And thank you again, Joshua, for your kind contribution to our efforts here. Enrique Tome, 747, the most beautiful plane ever made. I'm inclined to agree with you, Enrique. And talking about the flight times, Doha or Dubai, like 15 hours, but I think Sydney's pretty close to that. Oh, and executive producer Mrs. Runway DFW is saying the DFW flight to Sydney is 17 hours. Googled it. Now, of course, that's, you know, if you go in one direction, I guess if you're going from here to Sydney, it will be longer because of the headwinds, because the jet stream, I think, typically how that is. Well, it's pretty quiet otherwise here, so it's always nice to see this big jet in action, even if it's just taxiing. It's very graceful looking. But it's about to disappear into the cargo area here on the west side of DFW Airport. And I don't think we'll be here when it emerges for its next destination. That one, of course, was coming in from, I don't know if we even said where it's coming from, but it was coming in from Chicago O'Hare. Our good friend Flugelschaft saying, hey Walt and all aviation fans who love Queen of the Skies. Welcome to Flugelschaft, and we are happy to have you with us. Yeah, it's gotten quiet all of a sudden. This happens. There are lapses. I see like nothing in the sky coming in. It's like somebody put a lid over DFW. I was going to talk about the planes that we see here. According to the American Airlines fact sheet, what do you think their most, or what do you think the most the type of plane they have the most of, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And if you watch, I guess you could probably kind of figure it out. It makes sense when you, based upon what we're seeing here. But the plane they fly the most of, the type of plane, is the 737-800. They have 274 of those in their fleet as of the first quarter of this year. And the next biggest is the A321. They have 218 of those. So some airplane facts for you from Runway DFW. And while we don't see anything coming in, we do see, well, we do have something. No, that's not coming into here. We do have American Airlines Flight 2114 going to Santa Ana, California, which you see right there. And that's one of those 737-800s, of which American Airlines has many. So we're talking about long routes, and this viewer, whose name I cannot pronounce in Korean, saying DFW to Singapore is another long route, but if Singapore Airlines flies to DFW, and only Singapore Cargo flies in here, and I haven't seen any of their flights directly. They usually fly out of here to Anchorage, if I'm not mistaken, you know, for a stopover. Photostim saying hello from Athens, and I am assuming you are meaning from the country of Greece and not from like Athens, Georgia, or Athens, Texas. I think there's an Athens, Texas. Emery wants to know, have you been out of the country, Walt? Yes, I have. I wouldn't consider myself to be a world traveler, but I have been to England a couple of times, the UK, to several Caribbean islands, to Mexico, to Canada, and to Korea. So and did we say good morning to Marilee Ann? Good morning to you. John has a comment on the Airbus family aircraft on American, no legroom. Tim Bell is saying, hi Walt, tuning in from St. Lucia this morning. Arrived yesterday on a BA 777-200. It's so amazing to be talking to people in all these different parts of the world from my little folding chair here at DFW Airport. We're talking about legroom now. H.G. Williams saying you couldn't beat the L-1011, the Tristar wide-body jet on legroom. We've talked about that plane before. For some reason, that one has not endured. I think there's only one flying model left, and yet its kind of competitor at that time, the DC-10, which is now the MD-11 for the most part, has endured, at least as a cargo plane. A-list flyer Chris, good morning Walt and crew, checking in from Plano. Beautiful morning for plane spotting. Yeah, it is nice. Got a nice breeze here. It looks like we've got here on runway 18 right and left, there's the runway inspection of the morning, which accounts for no flying right now. And Fotis is correcting, or is clarifying that he or she is coming to us from Athens in Greece. Allison, tidy afternoon from a sunny UK. Good to have you with us. Maddie C is here saying hello from France. And if I was fluent in French, which I am not, yeah. But sorry. But thank you for speaking in English to us. Wes Westbrook is asking if was surprised about the Delta Max order. You know what? I think that news escaped me. I try to keep up with the news, but I don't think I saw that one. So I don't know. I don't know what Delta's fleet mix is. I don't know. I know they have both Boeing and Airbus aircraft, I believe. So that's always a consideration to you know, if a big airline is buying more planes, they've got to take into consideration how many of their pilots can fly which type of aircraft. And speaking of aircraft, it's our third 747 of the morning. This one is Korean Air Cargo. The Pepsi plane. And this one's on its way to Anchorage. We were just talking about Anchorage a little while ago as far as destinations for cargo planes. My suspicion, it's just a way station for its eventual port of Seoul, but I don't know that for a fact. So I'm going to say that this stream has been a success, if only because we've seen now 3 747s from 3 different airlines. Thank you, Austin. I didn't see your message when you sent it, but I do acknowledge it. And when I first took the our picture went to black there for a second. I think I hit the record button on my camera, and when you do that, it cuts off the signal to the switcher for some reason. It won't let you record and send your image out at the same time, so apologize for that. What can we tell you about this plane? It's 9 years old, a Boeing 747-8B5F. So it is now making the big U-turn, or it will be momentarily. Big right turn anyway, before taking off on runway 18 left. Carmel Murtaugh saying hi from Ireland. Hello, Carmel. Good to have you with us. You're looking at a Korean Air Cargo 747 on its way to Anchorage here from DFW International Airport. Got some Delta talk going on over in the chat room. Val's on Rocky Top saying hit the like button for this great channel. Thank you for that unsolicited endorsement. And Susan Duncan is here. Hello, Walton, everyone. Hello, Susan. Good to have you here with us. You're just in time to see this Queen of the Skies take to the skies. So off to Alaska goes the Korean Air cargo. And we are still here with you. Peter Schneider is here checking in from Orlando. Hello, Peter. Good to have you with us. Emre Yurtas has to say goodbye to us. Have a great day yourself, Emre. Thank you for being a part of our little shindig here. Luciano Gama saying hello from Brazil. Flight attendant, addicted to planes, of course. You can't get enough of planes, can you, Luciano? You've got to dial them up on your phone or your tablet or your computer or your big screen. John Little just subscribed to our channel. Thank you, John. Subscriptions help us find other viewers like you, aviation enthusiasts. It's called recommendations. I mean, you're not recommending us directly, but by endorsing us with subscriptions and thumbs ups, that means that YouTube knows that other folks like our channel, and if they're watching other aviation related content, we may pop up on their feeds. Time for Austin Swafford to go. We say goodbye to you, Austin, and we look forward to you hanging out with us once again.
Tower American 1343,
Marilee Ann saying, this is so nice and relaxing with morning coffee. Morning coffee, that sounds kind of good. Don't have any here. Got water. Water is what you need when it's hot and dry, like it is here.
18 right, American 1924.
But I'm so glad you are relaxing. Stevie says hello from Texoma Land. Hello, Stevie. I work for a TV station that serves Texoma Land, at least the part of it which is around Ardmore and Ada and Sherman Denison. So I'm familiar with Texoma Land. Ivo Oliveira saying hello. Hello, Ivo. Or is it Evo? And we are welcoming Frederick Hansen. Hello from Denmark. And again, I just can't. It's mind-boggling to have be speaking to all of you all around the world. Lachlan Adderley, hello from Australia. Good vibes. Thank you. We're getting them this morning, I think. Becky Davies saying good afternoon, Runway DFW. How are you today? From Shrewsbury, Shropshire, UK, Midlands. And JP just subscribed to our little channel, so now I have to admit, right now, as of right now, there's not a lot to see. We can show you very briefly a plane coming in over on the east side of the airport. But as with the Asiana cargo plane, we won't be able to see it much longer than right there. That was American flight 1586, and I had to look up the, and that was the retro PSA livery. Oh, and that's one of the cooler retro liveries that they've got. PSA, Pacific Southwest Airlines, I think it was. Yeah. I think they got absorbed into the American Airlines system at some point, but they were a big carrier, kind of the analog to Southwest Airlines here in Texas. And one of their features was a smiley face painted on the nose of the aircraft, and that plane, that retro PSA livery, has that. And I don't know that we'll be seeing it over here. I don't know what terminal it's going to, but it's probably going to one of the east side terminals. But anyway, we have seen it here on Runway DFW. We've gotten a good look at it, but not today, apparently. So sorry to say. Here comes one of those minibuses from Querétaro in Mexico, an A319, American Airlines. It's almost a 2-hour jaunt from Querétaro in Mexico on that A319, which dates back to the year 2001. We welcome Ian Thompson. Good afternoon from Birmingham in England. First time watching, have liked and subscribed. Thank you so much, Ian. I just saw your subscription flash on our screen. We try to acknowledge automatically people who subscribe, new subscribers to the channel, and we also are very appreciative of all the people who've already subscribed. And Fareed with an endorsement. Ian Thompson, welcome. You'll enjoy things here for sure. I hope you will. Lachlan is saying, wow, it's 7:58 a.m. in Texas when he sent that message. It's 10:30 p.m. Sunday evening here. Sunday evening? Is that right? Can that be right? Or Saturday evening? Oh no, it is Sunday. Sorry. You know what? I usually do this on Saturday mornings, and so I'm a little twisted around in my... I was thinking it was Saturday. No, it's Sunday. Eagle Wiggs, hello Runway DFW from Lubbock, Texas. Good morning to you. Angela Smith saying good morning Runway DFW. It's pretty slow this morning. Yeah, well, we've had our bursts. It is Sunday. And the other thing to consider is that there's a lot of airlines that are canceling flights because of staffing shortages, because of they really didn't anticipate the level of traffic they'd have this summer, I guess. And but yeah, we've had a lot of reports of canceled flights in recent days. Chan Man saying it's 10 p.m. Sunday night here in Tokyo, so we hope you're enjoying this daylight action. And while we have a little break here, let us reintroduce ourselves to everybody as we welcome Rogerio Goncalves, our newest subscriber to Runway DFW. But yeah, let's reintroduce ourselves here on the Runway DFW streaming network.
Live from Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport in Texas, this is Runway DFW in color. Now, here is your host, Walt Zwerko.
Yeah, we welcome Louis Birch, if I read that correctly, as our newest subscriber. We are live at DFW Airport. Sunday, August 7th, 2022. Yes, it is Sunday, so let me remind myself of that. 83 degrees. No, it just ticked down to 82 degrees on my thermometer here at the big airport. And so it's a nice, pleasant, sunny morning. A little slow at the moment, but it should pick up in this 8 o'clock hour as we approach 9 o'clock. So welcome on in. Welcome to Hannibal M. Sleem, our new subscriber, as we carry on at Runway DFW. Okie doke. Craig Russell is saying hello from Austin, Texas, the capital of our state. Lachlan wants to know, Runway DFW, we are expecting some parcels from the States. Hopefully we'll get them soon. Well, I'm not in charge of the parcels, but I hope you do get them soon. It is 3 a.m. Sunday morning in Hawaii. That's pretty early. H.G. Williams says, you need some coffee there, Walt? No, I'm okay. I'll probably pick some up on the way to my next chore today, after we get off the air around 9 o'clock, about an hour from now, will be to go and spend the afternoon with my grandson. So I'll have to get a cup of coffee before that because he just turned 6 and he's got a lot of energy. We have another heavy aircraft for you coming up, and you'll see it on your screen here in just a second. It is Japan Airlines Flight 6713 on its way to Narita Airport in Tokyo. That's a 787-9. We saw a Japan Airlines flight come in to our coming in as we were setting up this morning. So it was a kind of a pre-dawn arrival. I don't know if it was the same plane or not. I know that JAL operates 2 flights to DFW. I don't know if they're daily or not. I think the one to Narita is. I believe its other flight is to Haneda, which is the other big airport in the Tokyo area. Don't know if that's a daily flight though.
Morning, Tower, man. Nice dark light. Dragon 857 D60, I want to connect to that. 177, man.
So this plane is headed north right now. Headed to the top of runway 17 left. You'll be making a left turn momentarily to circle back. Point the nose south. I see a message from Lachlan Adderley asking, have we seen any Qantas planes lately? Yes, we do see a Qantas Dreamliner arriving from Sydney every afternoon. Qantas used to fly its A380 here prior to the pandemic. And I thought I saw somewhere, I may be wrong about this, but I thought I saw somewhere that Qantas is planning to fire up a service to Melbourne from DFW, or to DFW. I don't know what the status of that is at the moment. But the Qantas service here is operated by Dreamliners currently from Sydney. And so that beautiful bird begins its trans-Pacific journey. As we take another look here at DFW Founders Plaza, which is kind of filling up, and they finally turned off that beacon. The flying expert saying, I'm subbing if I see American Airlines flight 1021. Is that incoming or outgoing?
18 left American, 399 Quebec.
American Airlines flight 1021 goes off to Buffalo, it looks like. What's today, the 7th? Looks like it's scheduled for 8:49. So we'll try to keep on the lookout for that. It's an A320. It's going out to about 8:49. It was scheduled to leave at 7:10, so it's running a little late. So we'll see what we can do. You see the tail of a plane there. That's off to San Diego. It's American flight 1399. Roaring away now. You'll see it there in a second, I think. Yeah, there it goes. Got a flight incoming from Guadalajara, 737-800, American Airlines' most popular plane, at least as far as the number of planes it has. And that's flight 1034 from Guadalajara in Mexico. And the flying expert asking, did you get AA 1021 on July 30th? Was I even here on July 30th? I don't know. My brain is not capable of storing that much information, unfortunately. But typically, the Buffalo flights typically leave from the east side, and we generally do not see those over on the west side, which is where we have our perch. So that might answer your question. Even if we were here on July 30th at the right time, we probably wouldn't have seen it. This is American Flight 9857 to Austin. I'm sorry, American Eagle Flight 9857. It is an Embraer 175. And this is what, the third or fourth Austin bound or incoming flight we've seen this morning. And it's a flight of, by car, I guess if you were driving at the speed limit and didn't stop, you could probably get between here and Austin in, what, 3.5 hours maybe? 3 hours? Not sure, but this flight will probably be less than an hour. And as I've said many times before, Austin Bergstrom International Airport was, the folks there were very kind to us when we popped in for a 2-day stream. And I look forward to going back there again at some point in the, I don't know when. Last time I was there, I was taking my son to Austin, and so I just happened to be there, so it was kind of all worked out. I would like to acknowledge Duckaboom for sending us a $10 super chat, saying your tip for the great narrative from A&P for the month. Thanks for the live streams, and also catch the replays if I miss out. Now, you are a true super fan, Duckaboom, so thank you very much. Peter Schneider acknowledging or confirming that American doesn't have any A318s. And it was somebody else in the chat earlier said that American only has, or there's only 2 airlines in the world that still fly the A318s. Incoming from, I didn't recognize this airport code, Jan, J-A-N. Find out in a second. I'm getting better at my airport codes, but there's so many and some of them are somewhat inscrutable. I suspect that Jan is not inscrutable. Well, it's Jackson. So that was an hour and 2-minute flight on that CRJ 701ER, American Eagle Flight 3237. A question from Lachlan, Runway DFW. Do you plane spot for all of your viewers every day? Also, do you have a timetable which tells you where the planes are coming from? Yes, the timetable that we use and most plane spotters use, well, there's several of them available. The one I use is called Flight Radar 24. It's an app, and it's also a website. You can go to flightradar24.com, I think is the address. And it's also available for Android and iDevices. And it's available. You can use it for free. It's got ads with it, but if you're really serious about it, you might want to ante up for a subscription. There's several levels of Flight Radar 24, which allow you to get more information or see further information ahead and behind. So, yeah, I can endorse Flight Radar 24. It's not perfect, but it really gives you a wealth of information. And John Franco saying that flight was coming from Jackson, Mississippi. The one we just saw. Did I answer this question yet? Do you plane? Oh yeah, we did one. I did do that one. So I think I answered that question for Lachlan. We are greeting Adam H. Hello from Sweden. Thank you, Adam H. So good to see you. SWA list flyer, Runway DFW. Good morning. Nice day at DFW Airport. Yeah, it's a pretty good day. We've had our slow spots, but we've also seen 3 747s, so I always count that as a win. Chris is saying, great views, Walt. Beats going to EWR in 99-degree heat to watch. EWR, of course, being Newark Airport. Really? It's 99 degrees there, too? It's not even going to be 99 degrees here. Here is American Eagle Flight 3510 from Charleston, South Carolina. An Embraer 175. It looks like we have a lot of new viewers this morning. We welcome you and also all of our regular Runway DFW fans. But if you are new, you will have noticed by now there's a lot of American Airlines flights here. Like that. That is American Flight 2853 to Los Angeles in Airbus A321. And so I just want to acknowledge that, yes, we do know that there's probably, you know, it's nice to see a variety of airlines, and this is one of those airports you will see other airlines here. We've got Delta and United and Alaska and Spirit and JetBlue and Frontier. So we get a lot of different airlines, but the predominant one is American by far, and American Eagle. Well, you might be able to hear the wind in the microphone this morning, despite our covering, which tries to keep the wind out of it. Jim Jamel, afternoon, folks. Any of the usual suspects around? Not sure what you mean by that. Elvis Presley, the King, is in the house. Great work. Wish we had something like this here in Frankfurt, Germany. Well, there's you have a lot of plane spotters in Germany. Got Plane Mania, right? Check that out. Ryan Paulding, have you ever seen a United or Delta flight come to the west side to take off? Yes, all the time. We've got Delta flights and United flights that go to Salt Lake City and Denver and Los Angeles. So yeah, we've seen, I don't know if we've seen a United this morning, but we have seen a Delta. And I was just going to say, speaking of Delta, there's a Delta flight going out to Salt Lake City. So ask and ye shall get here at Runway DFW. There it is now. That Delta minibus. A 19-year-old aircraft. which is going to be flying to Salt Lake City. This is about the time where I lose track of all time. It's 8:26 locally. I've only got about 35 or 40 more minutes to hang out with y'all. And we come to you several times a week. We were here on Friday evening. We're here this morning. Oh, you know what? I'm going to be here tomorrow morning too. Same time, 6:15. Because I've got a break from taking my grandson to school tomorrow in the morning, so I will be here with you at 6:15 from about the same time frame, 6:15 till 9 a.m. Central Time in the U.S., which I believe is 6:15 is 11. I'm sorry. Am I right? Yeah, it's 11:15 UTC, if you're a UTC kind of person. And while it has been a little bit quiet over the last few minutes, things do perk up around the 9 o'clock hour here. It's kind of the first big rush of the day. We've got another heavy aircraft. This one going off to Phoenix. It's American Flight 569. A 787-9 Dreamliner. I'm keeping a view out of the corner of my eye at my computer screen, which is wobbling in the wind.
Tower American 2435, 6.5 out, runway 177. 435 is the
Just pulls up to the plate. We will see above it American Eagle Flight 3687 coming in from Aguas Calientes in Mexico in Embraer 175. And we'll keep our eye on this Phoenix-bound Dreamliner.
47, see you southwest, 22, 24. Little Anamex 1561. 15.
And that is one of American's few wide-body planes that services the continental United States. American Flight 2111 coming in from Minneapolis, St. Paul. A 737-800. And so I guess one of the reasons American doesn't fly wide-body planes from here to other destinations in the lower 48 is because of our central location. The flights are, relatively short. They're, what top out at 2-3 hours to either coast. American was flying more wide bodies domestically at times during the pandemic because they were not flying overseas when a lot of international travel was just cut off, so they were utilizing those planes domestically. I guess because it also could create more separation between passengers. Did we say where this plane is going? This is
18 left, line boy, American 2029. And then this is all for the we'll give way to the 73 to the right, send it north to Echo Golf and hold for the 17 right.
Yeah, this looks to be flight 2340 American Airlines off to Philadelphia. It's one of those planes that would generally take off from the east side, but they've steered it over here, so we get to see it take off. Maybe we'll get to see that Buffalo flight take off from over here. American Airlines Flight 2029, you just heard, going to Montrose in Colorado. That's the flight that Raina Taylor's parents were on last weekend. I think it was last weekend. Raina Taylor being one of our loyal viewers and subscribers. And she said, "Hey, Walt, can you get my parents taking off on this flight to Colorado?" And I was able to do that, happily. From San Luis Potosí in Mexico comes this Airbus A319, American Airlines. Flight 809. Here's our plane spotting position today. We'll go behind the scenes here. Here's our table of stuff. The switcher right there. Our music machine, our hotspot, our computer. There is camera 2 and camera 3. Camera 2, camera 3, And that's how we do's it here at DFW Founders Plaza. 8:36 Central Time. That was my head, folks.
Our Southwest 990, left dog leg 17, or 13 left.
And Lachlan Adderley saying, Runway DFW, thanks for the fabulous evening. I've subscribed, so I can wait to watch more. Take care and stay safe during these tough times. Enjoy plane spotting. Yep, I think you can tell I enjoy it too. Christy Dennis is saying, it's so cool where I work at Charlotte Douglas International Airport. It's another American hub. I get to see the airplanes at the gates at the ramp. I work in the bag room. Such a fun job. It's always good to like your jobs. Duckaboom is saying, I remember as a kid I bought a kit from Radio Shack to listen to ATC, air traffic control. You had to hardwire it. Sat on my parents' roof of their house and watched airplanes and listened. Boy, how times have changed. They sure have. You can get a Raspberry Pi now, which is a tiny little computer available for, what, about $30. You can load some free software in it, get a TV stick, which can pick up the air traffic control frequencies, and you can plot it on a map, just like Flight Radar 24. I've been thinking about doing that as something I can switch to here. I just haven't had time to do it yet. Hey, we've got a Japan Airlines flight coming in, so why don't we look at that, shall we? It's coming in from Narita. We saw one go out not too long ago, but this one's coming in. It's a 787-9 Dreamliner. It's flight 8012. It's Japan Airlines. What more do you need to know about it? Let's watch. And I heard a woo for that landing. That wasn't me. That ends a flight of 11 hours and 20 minutes from the land of the rising sun in that 6-year-old Dreamliner. Jedrick Jones saying someone was excited for that one. Runway Collin County saying, sorry Walt, I am late. There's no real late or anything. I mean, it's, you know, it's all available for playback later. Sophie said, I was just here this morning taking pictures with my dad. So cool.
Clear to land 17 left, American 428. Back 1021 is visual 17 left. No need to reply, but I need your air to the first rear with a high speed here for traffic on short line. Right, like turn on mic if they're working on the indicate. Thanks. I'll do one contact people.
Craig Russell saying American Airlines flight. Well, it's a 777 coming in from Honolulu. We like 777s. It's flight 115. We are going to show it to you now on Runway DFW. I think I heard another woo and a honk that time. People are excited to see these aircraft coming in. Runway Collin County wants to know if there's any queens. I slept till 8 a.m. Well, I got up at 4 a.m. Runway Collin County, and so, yeah, we got to see 3 queens here on the stream. It was actually 4, but one of them was coming in as I woke up, so we got to see a Korean Air, an Asiana, and a UPS. So be kind and rewind and you can see those things right here. The flying expert saying American 1021 from Buffalo is on final. All right, let's see if we can see it. We can. There it is. So there you go for all you Buffalo fans. It has arrived. And there's the Japan. My mouth wasn't working there, was it? There is the Japan Airlines flight from Narita pulling into International Terminal D. John DeCan, good morning, happy Sunday from Newark, New York. Newark, New York, or Newark, New Jersey? Anyway, it sure is going to be hot. Yeah, I guess we hear it's going to be pretty hot there today. Terry Campbell wants to know how many runways at DFW. Well, we have 2 over here. Well, we overlook 2 runways here at from our perch at DFW Founders Plaza. We overlook runways 18 right and 18 left. They are parallel. They run north and south. There's a 13 right and a 13 left. They are on the east and west sides of the airport. They are crosswind runways. They kind of go diagonally. And then over on the east side, there are 3 parallel north-south runways. 17 right, 17 left, and 17 center. So you add those all up, you tally them up, and I think you got 7 runways at DFW Airport. We've got about 15 minutes left in our broadcast this morning. That was American Flight 2788, 737-800 coming in from Colorado Springs in Colorado. Kind of got Sunday brunch going on in front of us. Frenetic birds seem to have found some insects to munch on. Giraffe wants to know, why can't we hear the planes? Well, they're kind of far away from where we are, actually. They're probably a good, almost, maybe a half mile away from our viewing point. We have to use zoom lenses to see them all up close. So we don't get as good of a sound as we might if we were a little closer. That was American Flight 2792 coming in from San Antonio in Texas, a 737-800. I believe this flight is going to be winging its way to the state capital of Austin. This is American 1684, 737-800. And yes, right around 9 o'clock, it's about 10 minutes till 9 now. We've got 1, 2, 3, at least 3, maybe 4 planes lining up behind it. This one. So we'll have a burst of activity before we have to leave you. And there you see American Flight 1812 on its way to Colorado Springs. A737-800. That was, pardon me, American Eagle Flight 3847 coming in from Tallahassee in Florida in Embraer 175 LR. This is American Airlines Flight 2767, an A321, which doesn't list a destination, but it is taking off and it will land somewhere. We just cannot tell you where. That, my friends, what you see there, I think is going to be Flight 2944 on its way to Boise, Idaho. And you can see it's getting a little busy. And Craig Russell letting us know that American Airlines flagship Valor livery, an A320, is taking off to Seattle. So we'll look out for that. Runway DFW, or Runway Collin County saying, I'm watching with my grandma. She loves it. I do as well. Thanks. We're so happy we can bring families together here at Runway DFW. I haven't been able to get my 6-year-old grandson quite interested in this yet, but I'll work on him. Here goes the flight out to Boise, as we see a flight from Durango, Colorado coming in. And this is about the time of day when I really have to squint to see what's on the screen because of this. The sun is bearing down on us. This is pretty much a perfect morning weather-wise for midsummer in, or I guess late summer in Texas. Still just 85 degrees. We've got a nice breeze. If I had a wish, it would just be for some more clouds to keep the sun out of our eyes. But actually, I would wish for clouds to bring rain, because we are just begging for rain here. We've been more than a month without any measurable precipitation. This flight's out to Los Cabos, a popular resort in Mexico. An Airbus A321, flight 1304. That's American Flight 2378, 737-800, arriving from Houston Intercontinental Airport. Oh, remember we saw that Piedmont livery before? We saw it arriving, the American Airlines Piedmont Heritage livery. Well, you should be about to see that on your screen right now. There it is, coming in from the right. Again, we're backlit, so it's not a great look at it, but Craig is noting that the Emirates 777 from Dubai is 24 minutes out. And I don't know if we'll be here for that, unfortunately, because I do have to pack things up. Hang out with the grandson. American Airlines 1410 coming in from St. Louis, 737-800. And there's that Piedmont livery we talk so much about. I kind of like that. I like the stripe along the windows. I think in the parlance of liveries, it's called a cheat line. That particular flight is headed out to Querétaro in Mexico. It's an A319, dating back to the year 2000, which reminds me of an old Conan O'Brien bit. So we can kind of see the livery there. It's still kind of in the shadows. But yes, Craig, I agree. Classic livery. Brendan McMillan saying, I'll be flying into DFW on an A321 on Sunday, September 18th around 8 a.m. Maybe I will be on your channel. Well, if we're here, and if we're pointing at your plane when it lands, we will definitely do that. Let us know in advance. We'll try to catch that for you. Keep waiting for this plane to take off, but it's not. Well, it's a little after 9, and because of my grandfatherly obligations, I think I'm going to have to pack it up here. It has been great being with you this morning. I think we've had a pretty good morning. Been here for almost 3 hours, and we've saw 3 Queens of the Skies, and we got to see an MD-11 take off as well, so it's all good. Yeah, that's our music which says we got to go bye-bye. So thank you so much, everybody, for hanging out with us, whether you're a long-time Runway DFW viewer or one of our new subscribers. So happy to have had all of you with us. And we'll be back tomorrow morning at 6:15 a.m. Central Time, 11:15 UTC. Until then, happy contrails to you until we meet again, everybody. And see you then. Bye. We'll be on tomorrow morning, 6:15 a.m. Central Time on Runway DFW. Thanks again.